those 3 officers were able to fatally wound that suspect.
Heavily armed officers then combed the area for a potential second suspect. And today, officers also searched this home once linked to the shooter. Authorities are parked outside of the suspect's father's house right now. On the inside, the ATF is trying to zero in on the motive. Tonight, authorities say the suspect's family is cooperating. Meanwhile, authorities tell ABC News they're looking into white supremacist messaging the shooter posted on his Instagram page and a post criticizing the festival minutes before he opened fire.
So let's get to Will Carr with us live tonight from the scene. I know, Will, authorities are still there on the festival grounds. They're also, as you reported, looking closely at the gunman's social media posts. And now the weapon they believe was purchased legally just weeks ago?
David, investigators believe the suspect bought that gun in Nevada on July 9th. They're now trying to figure out if it was illegal to bring the gun here to California. At the same time, at least a half-dozen victims remain in the hospital tonight. David.
Will Carr leading us off tonight from California. Will, thank you. And now to President Trump tonight, defending himself against allegations of racism after a torrent of tweets criticizing Congressman Elijah Cummings and his Baltimore district, describing it as a rat and rodent-infested mess. The president says Cummings is the racist. ABC's Kira Phillips at the White House.
Maryland's Republican governor denouncing President Trump for smearing a Baltimore congressional district as a, quote, disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess, saying no human being would want to live there.
The comments are just outrageous and inappropriate.
The president's comments were aimed at Congressman Elijah Cummings after the veteran lawmaker took the head of the Department of Homeland Security to task over conditions in migrant detention centers.
What does that mean when a child is sitting in their own feces, can't take a shower? Come on, man. What's that about?
Cummings is the 5th congressperson of color that the president has targeted this month alone. In one racist tweet, he suggested 4 congresswomen go back to the countries they came from, even though all of them are citizens and 3 were born in the United States. He's also used the phrase crime-infested to describe the congressional district of civil rights icon John Lewis. Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney grilled by Chris Wallace of Fox News.
Infested. It sounds like vermin. It sounds subhuman. And these are all 6 members of Congress who are people of color.
I think you're spending way too much time reading between the lines.
I'm not reading between the lines. I'm reading the lines.
The president doubling down today as part of a strategy to energize his base of white rural voters before the election. He's taking aim at a new target, the Reverend Al Sharpton. The 2 men have been friendly before. But when Sharpton tweeted he was heading to Baltimore, the president blasted him as a con man who hates whites and cops.
He has a particular venom for blacks and people of color. He doesn't refer to any of his other opponents or critics as infested. He never said that their districts or their states are places that no human being wants to live.
And Kira Phillips with us live from the White House tonight. And Kira, President Trump insists his attacks on Congressman Cummings are not racist. What's the congressman saying about this tonight?
Well, David, Congressman Cummings tweeting, Mr. President, I go home to my district daily. Each morning I wake up and I go and fight for my neighbors. His hometown paper, David, less diplomatic. The Baltimore Sun writing, quote, better to have a few rats than to be one. David?
Kira, thank you. We turn next to the body camera, appearing to tell a different story tonight. A sheriff's deputy responding to an alarm at a home, shooting the homeowner multiple times. The sheriff's report had said that the homeowner had opened the front door, pointed a gun at the deputy. But tonight, what the body cam shows, and here's Lindsay Davis.
Oh my God, call the cops, please. I am the cops.
A dramatic scene caught on a deputy's body camera as this South Carolina homeowner pleads for help after being shot by the deputy.
What you doing, man? You pointed a gun at me, man. You're in my house.
The officer arrived at the Greenville County home after receiving a call of a panic alarm. In an initial report, the sheriff's office said the homeowner opened the door and pointed a gun at him. But that's not what we see. There's motion inside the house. The deputy then fires.
Get the ambulance here, man. I'm going to die. They're coming.
The deputy then provides medical assistance to the victim until the EMS arrived. The homeowner has since been released from the hospital and is now recovering.
You came to my house at 12 o'clock at night. I'm sleeping. I got to protect my house.
And David, that sheriff's deputy is now on paid administrative leave as multiple investigations are now underway to determine if he acted lawfully. David.
Lindsay Davis tonight. Lindsay, thank you. We turn next year to Rome in the explosive case involving 2 American teens and the murder of a police officer there. Those 2 teens from San Francisco remain jailed in Italy after allegedly fatally stabbing the officer. Tonight, one teen now reportedly claiming self-defense. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Italy tonight.
Tonight, a police officer stabbed to death in Italy, allegedly by 2 American teenagers on vacation, now laid to rest. Thousands turning out to honor Mario Cicciello Rega in the same church where he married just a month ago. And tonight, new details of how the crime allegedly unfolded. Police say 18-year-old Gabe Natal Hjorth and 19-year-old Finnegan Elder from California confessed to stealing a backpack in a drug deal gone bad. When the teens allegedly demanded money and drugs for its return, the owner phoned the police.
Buonasera. Mi hanno rubato la borsa.
Someone stole my bag, he tells police. I called these guys and they asked for a money ransom. Police say this is the pair seen here running from the scene after they stole the bag. Later, near the hotel, 2 plainclothes officers arrive and identified themselves. That's when a fight broke out and Elder allegedly stabbed Cicciello Rega 11 times, later trying to claim it was in self-defense. Natal Hjorth seen here blindfolded after his arrest, police later calling that a mistake. Tonight, Elder's family say they'll soon head to Rome, adding their hearts go out to the family and friends of the dead officer. David, it could now take up to a year for the pair to be formally charged, the judge indicating that bail unlikely to be approved because the pair considered a flight risk, adding that she said that the Americans had shown an absence of self-control and were highly dangerous. David?
Ian Pannell with us tonight as well. Ian, thank you. Next to the manhunt north of the border tonight, 2 teens wanted for an alleged killing spree, including that American woman and her boyfriend. Tonight, a town is on lockdown after reports the teens might have been spotted. Here's ABC's Clayton Sandell.
Tonight, a warning to stay inside and lock the door in yet another remote Canadian town. As police and even the Canadian Air Force step up a week-long search for 2 teens wanted for murder.
2 males matching the description of the wanted suspects were seen in York Landing, Manitoba.
If it is 19-year-old Cam McLeod and 18-year-old Briar Schmigelski, it would be the first confirmed sighting in days. The fugitive teens caught on camera at a store last week in Saskatchewan province.
Our officers on the ground have not made contact with the individuals, and so we are not yet in a position to confirm that these are the wanted suspects.
The pair have already been charged with the murder of college professor Leonard Dick and are wanted for killing American China Deese and her Australian boyfriend Lucas Fowler.
There are reports the pair was stopped last week at a routine checkpoint, but the constables apparently didn't know the teens were wanted and the car they were in had not been reported stolen, so they were let go. David?
Major questions about that. All right, Clayton, thank you. Late today, we learned of yet another shark attack off the East Coast after 2 already over the weekend. It happened off Florida, but there remains concern tonight all the way up to Massachusetts. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo.
For the second time in as many days, a shark attack in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Lifeguards say an 18-year-old surfer was bitten on the hand Monday afternoon, marking the 6th bite this year in Volusia County, known as the shark attack capital of the world and living up to its name. 49-year-old William Angel bitten in the thigh while boogie boarding there Saturday. He was treated on scene. The danger lurking along Florida's coast. Just an hour earlier, about 100 miles away on Jacksonville Beach, Surfline.com capturing the moment 23-year-old surfer Frank O'Rourke struggled to stay above water as what was believed to be a black-tipped shark latched onto his arm. O'Rourke later seen bolting across the beach for help, still clutching his board.
You have all the teeth, the rows of teeth. It kind of just clamped onto my arm.
David, according to National Geographic, it's estimated anyone who has swam in New Smyrna Beach has been within 10 feet of a shark. Thankfully, all 3 recent victims are expected to be okay. David?
All right, Victor Oquendo tonight, thank you. On the Hill tonight, a new congressional report just out raising serious questions about the White House, some of the president's friends and one-time associates, and possible conflicts. Were profits more important than national security? That's the question being posed by this new congressional report, and here's ABC's Mary Bruce tonight.
Tonight, a new congressional report is raising serious questions about whether the White House is willing to place the potential profits of the president's friends above the national security of the American people. The report zeroes in on a number of Trump's close associates, including his longtime friend Tom Barrack, who ran Trump's inaugural committee. They say Barrack pushed the White House to sign off on a deal with Saudi Arabia to build dozens of power plants, a deal Democrats say could have benefited Barrack financially. The deal has not gone through, but Barrack was still instrumental in crafting the president's Saudi policy. In 2016, right before Trump was set to deliver this campaign speech on energy,
we'll work with our Gulf allies to develop a positive energy relationship as part of our anti-terrorism strategy.
The report says Barrack ran the speech by a business associate in the United Arab Emirates with connections to Saudi leaders, who later sent it back with edits. Trump's campaign chairman Paul Manafort emailing back that the speech has the language you want. Today's report, the work of the House Oversight Committee, led by Congressman Elijah Cummings, who the president has been attacking on Twitter.
So let's get to Mary Bruce live in Washington tonight. And Mary, the White House refused to cooperate with this investigation?
Well, David, the committee combed through 60,000 pages of documents, emails, and text messages, some from whistleblowers inside the Trump administration. But the White House did not cooperate. Now, as for Barrack, tonight his spokesman is defending his integrity, but he is notably not denying these incidents. David?
Mary Bruce, who covers the Hill for us every night. Mary, thank you. And from Afghanistan tonight, 2 U.S. paratroopers out of Fort Bragg have been killed in an apparent insider attack. An Afghan security source reports that an Afghan soldier opened fire inside a military camp in Kandahar province. The Americans from the 82nd Airborne have not yet been identified tonight. It does come, though, as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said just today that President Trump directed a reduction of troops in Afghanistan before the 2020 election. Urgent search for the suspect known as the Pink Lady Bandit, the woman wanted for robbing of 4 banks in 3 states. She was seen on surveillance carrying a pink purse, and tonight they say she's been caught. Here's Eva Pilgrim.
This is the moment the Charlotte FBI moved in, arresting the woman they believe is the so-called Pink Lady Bandit. Tonight, she's in custody facing multiple charges. The FBI says 35-year-old Sursa Baez robbed 4 banks, and she got the nickname, they say, for the distinctive pink purse she carried in at least 2 of her robberies. Investigators say the Pink Lady started her robbery spree on July 20th at a bank in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. 3 days later, hitting another one in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. The very next day, 300 miles away, another robbery in Ayden, North Carolina. Here, you see her in the bank with that pink purse, handing the teller a note.
If you rob a bank and you use a particular approach, a particular disguise, etc., you may well keep doing it because it works.
Her most recent holdup allegedly taking place Friday. Police picking her up at that Charlotte hotel Sunday along with an alleged accomplice.
David, both Baez and that alleged accomplice are being held on $4 million bond each. David?
Eva, thank you. To the index of other news, in the building collapse in Houston, 9 construction workers were injured when the top floor came down. Firefighters lowering 2 of the victims to the ground, several with broken bones, but everyone survived. The tragic discovery in Oakland Park, Florida tonight, the body of a toddler was found left in a van outside a daycare center there. No word on how long the 2-year-old boy had been inside the vehicle. Another frightening bison attack at a national park in this country. Authorities say a 17-year-old was gored this time after being caught between 2 fighting bison at Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota. That teen is in stable condition tonight. And the discovery at BWI Airport in Baltimore, TSA officers finding a missile launcher in a checked bag. A passenger telling authorities he was in the military. The launcher was a souvenir, he said. Authorities confiscated the device. What funny tonight here, America Strong, the grandmothers who just checked something off their bucket list. This is Beverly Milik from Toledo, Ohio, a grandmother of 5, a great-grandmother of 5, too. And listen to what the woman behind the counter tells her at the Tecumseh Skydive in Jackson, Michigan.
You're going to jump 14,000 feet today.
14,000?
Yeah.
14,000 feet. But don't worry, this is on her bucket list. And her friend, fellow grandmother Brenda Sutton, is diving too.
Not 20 seconds, 60 seconds.
What?
Free fall. Yes.
They suit up.
Is this big enough?
Yes. Brenda, getting ready too.
I'm kind of nervous. Does it show?
It's probably better that you are nervous.
Webb Wyman is the founder of My Jump, an organization to help seniors achieve what's left on their bucket list.
Everyone likes to dream big, and this is huge.
Suited up, Brenda and Beverly are ready to jump.
Yes!
But that walk to the plane.
Oh my.
They take off, and 14,000 feet up, Beverly jumps first. Brenda too.
How you feeling? Better.
Better, she says. Both friends landing safely. That's Brenda coming in for landing. And Beverly sending us this.
Hi, David.
And this question.
Would I do it again? Absolutely not, but it was wonderful.
And that hug from the founder.
Pretty amazing.
What an experience.
Hey, you're here.
You go, Beverly and Brenda. What did the rest of us do today? I'm David Muir. Hope to see you right back here tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.